Western Kentucky was one of just 16 teams to be able to play 12 games last season. They won their last 3 games of the regular season, ended up playing in a bowl. And joining us now, the head coach of Western Kentucky, Tyson Helton. Coach, good to have you with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You know, you and I were talking just a minute ago, and I think it's worth repeating. Even though you did play 12 games last season, there was always that uncertainty when you were getting ready to play a team for the upcoming week, was there not?
Yeah, there was a lot of uncertainty. You just didn't know. Hopefully your team was going to be healthy enough, or the opposing team was going to be healthy enough. You know, we were very fortunate to get all our games in. But even all the way up to the bowl game last year, you just never knew whether you were going to have a game or not. And fortunately for us, we were able to play all of them.
Well, let's talk about your offense. It's going to be a new offense. You brought in Zach Kitley from Houston Baptist, and you look what his team did last year, even against FBS teams. He is an offensive coordinator that likes to put up a lot of numbers. Talk about your new offense and the difference it's going to be this season.
Yeah, we're really excited about the direction we're heading offensively. You know, I felt like we needed to go that direction. Really excited about Coach Kitley and what he's bringing. I think we have the personnel, too, that fits his style of play of what he wants to do offensively. So I'm excited to see us go out there and play, and I know our fans will be as well.
And he's also brought some players with him which have the potential of being big players, something that this team needed. Talk about them.
Yeah, you know, we got the quarterback, Bailey Zappi, which I'm really excited about. Bailey's a senior. He's had a lot of playing time. He's been in the offense his whole career. So that was really helpful for us. You know, from day one, he could come right in. He took charge. He knew what to do, ran the offense very well. Brought a couple of his receivers with him, the 2 Stern brothers, which we're really excited about, and Ben Ratzliff, who's an outside receiver. So for the key pieces of the offense, we're excited about that. And then we kind of mixed and matched what we do offensively as well. Really excited about our veteran offensive line, our running backs. So we really think we got a good returning core there.
Well, I want to talk about Bailey Zappi just a little bit, because this is a guy that threw for 567 yards versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech obviously not known for defense, but that was the most ever by an FCS quarterback versus an FBS team. And when you have a quarterback that has that type of potential, that kind of opens up the rest of your offense, does it not?
Yeah, I'll take the 567-yard offense performance against anybody, to be honest with you. But, yeah, he had a great outing then. Like I said, he's a tremendous quarterback, does a great job, knows the offense extremely well. I know he's fired up to be able to play at a higher level. You know, that's why he came here. He wanted to finish out his career playing at a level that he could showcase his talents, be on a bigger platform. So we're looking forward to him being out there and leading us down the field.
Well, let's talk about your defense, because you do have some star performance on that defensive side. And you don't have a lot of starters returning, but that doesn't mean you don't have experience returning. Your defense, Coach.
Yeah, our defense has really been the backbone of our team for the past 2 seasons. It's led by D'Angelo Malone, our defensive end. He's done a fantastic job his whole career here. Really expected him to have a great year in his senior year. And then on the other side, Juwan Jones, our other defensive end, does a great job. Added some new guys in the D-tackle area, which I think is going to give us depth. Our linebackers have had playing experience. We lost some starters there, but they're very, very solid. I think we got bigger in that position. Our secondary, we've added some new guys there, got a couple transfer guys. Really excited about those guys. I think that's going to really help us out in the secondary. So all the pieces of the puzzle are there for us. And, you know, in the back end, you got Antoine Kincaid, who has really been the leader in the back end for us, and he'll make sure everybody's right. And so we're looking forward to big things out of our defense this year.
You know, I saw a comment from you, even though you lost 2 key linebackers, you really feel the linebacker room will be a strong point of this defense, right?
I really do. You know, I think of, Will Ignott, who transferred from University of Tennessee. He's been with us here for a year. He had to sit out his first year here, but Will is very familiar with the defense. He was a good player at Tennessee. We're able to fit him in there. He's had a lot of playing experience. Nick Days has had a lot of playing experience as well. And then we got some other guys. We're going to move D. Kane over to from defensive end to linebacker. And then we got some young guys behind him. So I really feel good about where we are in the linebacker position.
Well, we haven't talked a lot with coaches today about special teams, but when you look at your special teams, your kicker and your punter return, and both have been very consistent, and those can be turned into weapons.
Yeah, large part of my career, I was a special teams coordinator, so I have kicker appreciation, I guess you would call it. Our punter, John Haggerty, is an exceptional punter. He's done a great job for us for 2 years. Really expecting big things out of him. We have Braden Narvison, who's returning, did a great job for us last year with all the kicking duties, with the field goals and PATs. He's been very consistent for us. And then you have Corey Munson, who's handled our kickoff duties. All three of those guys are really, really talented players and play a large part of the game for us. And Coach Andy LaRussa, our special teams coordinator, does a great job with his schemes. And so we're looking forward to doing some great things on special teams as well.
Well, let's talk about your schedule, your non-conference schedule, and we think you'll probably play every game this season. But when you look at your schedule, outside of the first game, which all coaches talk about, and that in your case it's UT Martin, is there a key part of this season? Is it the back-to-back Old Dominion Florida International, or what stands out to you about your schedule?
Well, I think, first of all, it's a very challenging schedule, but we embrace that. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And, we get to go to the Army on the 20-year anniversary of September 11th. That's a very special game. I know our players will be excited to play in that. And we come home and play a really good Indiana team. So it's a great opportunity for us to showcase our team at home and try to get a win there. And then we go to Michigan State. And so those, early part of the season, that's a tough schedule, but we like playing in those big games. To answer your question, though, I think the first home game, our first conference home game versus UTSA, they're a really good football team. And, that's going to be a good matchup for us. Hopefully we can get a win there and get the conference playoff right. And I'm really looking forward to that game. We need to be able to do good in that game.
Well, Coach Tyson Helton, we appreciate you spending some time with us, and we look forward to seeing Western Kentucky during the regular season. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks again, guys. Thank you very much.
Well, the heart of any offense is the offensive line. Western Kentucky has an outstanding O-line led by Cole Spencer, the redshirt junior out of Louisville, Kentucky, 2020 Conference USA honorable mention, and some publications for 2021 already have him making the All-Conference USA team, and Cole joins us now. Cole, good to have you with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Before we start talking about this year, last year, and we talked to Coach about this, the uncertainty, even though you were able to play all 12 games, you saw what was going around the rest of the country. Was it in the back of your mind that, gee, this may happen to us, that we may not be able to play a game?
It was definitely in the back of our heads, especially, when we even had to reschedule some games. We were very fortunate to be able to play all of our games, but sometimes you just got nervous. You were like, man, are we going to get to play this week? So definitely had that in the back of our heads sometimes, but, we're just thankful it worked out the way it did.
Now let's talk about this year because we are excited for that to happen. You got a new offensive coordinator from Houston Baptist and Zach Ketley, hung 567 on Texas Tech. When you heard he was coming, were you excited about it?
I was. Once I figured out, who's Coach Ketley was and the type of offense they ran at Houston Baptist, you couldn't help but be excited. Seeing the numbers they put up against some big teams and even teams in our conference at Houston Baptist, and some of those guys coming to play for Western, it was awesome to see. And, just going through the spring with him, it's pretty exciting.
Now, his style of offense, does that change what you do as an offensive lineman, or is it just tweaking some of the things you do?
Just have to tweak some things that we do, switch up some technique here and there, but overall the concept's still the same about what we do up front.
You had some spots starting spots open to the spring and into the fall on the offensive line. Is the offensive line starting to gel? Because people always talk about it takes time for that.
Yes, so we had a great experience in the spring. We all gelled together, worked together, and then even through summer workouts, us just being around, working out with each other, getting after it together. We've had a great experience, and we're a pretty tight-knit group.
Okay, here's a question that has absolutely nothing to do with football. Your mom and dad, they both played tennis at Louisville. Can you beat them in tennis?
Yes, sir.
Can you beat them in tennis?
My father would mop the floor with me to this day in tennis. My father still coaches, so he would kill me. My mom, that's up in the air. I'm not sure.
Now,
I think I could, though. I think I got her.
You realize she may see this now, and there may be a challenge coming
know.
down from Louisville to you. You realize that, don't you?
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I'm waiting on it. I'm sure I'll get a phone call.
Well, she's
And
going to
she'll
have.
want to play as soon as I get home.
All you got to do is get up to the net. She's got to get it around you, which isn't going to be easy, I wouldn't think.
I know, but her serve is wicked. She can serve the ball, man. I might not be able to return it.
There you go. Hey, Cole, we appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck this season, and all the best to your team also.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
Antoine Kincaid, the defensive back, senior out of Jacksonville, Florida, two-time Conference USA honorable mention, including 2020, and he's currently on a number of preseason All-Conference USA teams for 2021. And Antoine Kincaid joins us right now. Antoine, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now, 2020 was a pretty good year for you because you set a career high in tackles, total tackles, tackles for a loss, and passes defended. That was great, but do you think that's a springboard for an even better 2021?
Oh, yes, sir. We've been working hard all summer long, all spring long, just for, guys like me and other guys that are older to have special years. Last year, that was just the beginning of something that's going to be so special in 2021. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an amazing year.
Now, every time you talk to a defensive player, they say they want to set the tone of the football game. You come into an attack mode from the second you stop on the football field. Is that by design for you, that you want to make something happen immediately?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course. My favorite player of all time is Kobe Bryant. I love his Mamba mentality and the way he carries himself, the way he trains, the way he talks to his teammates, the way he holds his teammates accountable, the way he holds himself accountable. I just love him as a whole basketball player, just a player in general. So just Kobe, his mentality has stuck with me, and every time I get on the field, I be in that kind of mode. So yeah, it's crazy.
Now, when you have one of the best defensive lines in Conference USA, and when you have a defensive line that can cause havoc, that opens things up, I would think, for defensive backs to maybe get the pick, make the pass defended. Do you see it that way because of your offensive line?
Oh, yes, sir. Of course, man. We have two dominant guys that come in the middle and two amazing creative creatures. I call them creatures because they're magnificent players on the edge. Juwan Jones and D'Angelo Malone, they create havoc every play they're on the field. They go from 0 to 100 real quick. Like Drake said, man, they're so special. So, with those guys causing havoc, it takes the pressure off, linebackers, it opens gaps up for them to make tackles, and, of course, the secondary to get our hands on balls. So, a lot of those passes defended last year, we was top in the FBS, but a lot of those passes defended come from our line creating havoc in the backfield.
Now, you are a returning starter, but you have some new players in the backfield and also on the defense. They're not going to target you because you're a known commodity. Do you think some of the younger players will be targeted by opposing teams? And what piece of advice would you give them?
To be honest, I feel like, we are going to get a fair share amount of targets. We have some incredible receivers in our conference, quarterbacks that know how to go through their reads in our conference. Marshall quarterback, another guy, a La Tech quarterback. Guys we're going to play UAB. We have amazing quarterbacks and receivers in our conference. So I feel like if we're challenging receivers enough, that we're going to get a lot of targets. But the advice I can give to people is to, every play challenge. Even if you're young on the field, you've been here 2 years, always find a way to challenge your opponent. So that's what we're looking for.
How important is it to get off to a quick start? Because last year you did not get off to a fast beginning of the schedule. This year your schedule is difficult at the onset, including a game at Army, 20th anniversary of September 11th. But is it something that it's important to the team that you start out a little bit better than you started out last year?
Yes, sir. I feel like that's an incredible milestone for us to start out quick and fast. Over the years, like you said, we've been starting off a little slow, losing records and everything. So I feel like this year is going to be a total different. We have different kind of pieces to our offense, different pieces to our defense. So I feel like in our fall camp, these two are going to connect. And when the season comes, we're going to have a fast start. Even if our schedule is difficult, we're going to find a way to win those games, I feel like.
All right, Antoine, we appreciate you spending some time with us. We wish you the very best of luck in 2021.
I appreciate you.
Still to come on Conference USA, we'll take a look at FIU when we return.